Well, I didn't quite get my wind in the right direction. It's actually blowing towards me. I thought it was blowing from the left, so I got my wind wrong. But I've put the tarp up and it's actually raining, so unless it stops quickly, then we probably won't get outside, or if we do, it'll just be quick. I've pitched the Supertarp to the ground on the left hand side because, as I say, that's where I thought the rain was, or the wind was coming from. It wasn't raining at the time, and that's the rear there, which I've raised up with two short poles, not quite straight actually, but they're I think that's the angle from here, just to raise the rear. And I did have that front corner raised up as well with the two longer poles, but as I say, rain was coming in, so I ended up having to lower that one. This is the Serenity shelter again. I've not hooked it up on the inside with the cookie things under the tarp, but I did what Ron suggested. I don't think you can see it all that brilliantly, but there's one piece of elasticated bungee cord there which is pulling the rear up, and I must admit, I think I've got the rear pretty, and I've got it pegged out as well. So the rear of the Serenity shelter I've got absolutely perfect there. The front, obviously it's blowing a lot because I've got the door open, but also the height, I've got the tarp a fraction too low, so that's also the other reason why it's a little bit loose. I probably ought to have the tarp just a little bit higher, because you can see that's the top of the Serenity shelter, right touching the the bottom of the tarp. So I haven't quite got the tarp high enough, but again I've got it pegged out in the two corners. So if I had the height done properly, then, and obviously I'm lying the wrong way around, but you've got a reasonable, I can just about, if I sort of Yodify myself, I can just about sit up in this. Again, the tarp being low doesn't help there. I've got it a little bit too low. Let's just see if we can just nip out. I brought my waterproof gloves. Just gonna see if they will give a bit. It's easing off a little now. What I've done on the outside of the tarp here, as I say, before it was raining, I had those two poles which I've taken down. I had them on this corner here, so I had the two corners pitched high to make it very open, because my idea was to imagine that the wind was blowing from this direction. So I've actually put it, well, my intention was to put it side on into the wind, but of course the wind's decided to do a slight about turn and is sort of blowing in, it's sort of blowing in this direction, so it was just getting to the very front of the Serenity shelter. So that idea probably isn't perfect, but it was worth trying. It was good fun setting it up. I wasn't sure whether I was actually going to do it today because the weather was so bad and I wasn't really in the mood, but then the sun came out and I thought, right, let's let's have another play with this. I've put the bungee cord and line on the 2 tie-out points to 1 peg here. There's 2 pegs in the ground so I don't lose one. And I've pegged out, as if I was pegging it to the ground, all 5 pegging points here. The N1, the middle one and the N1 are on cord, and then the 2 middle one I've used small stakes and pegged them down to the ground. From the rear, that midpoint, I could easily have obviously have put it to 1 pegging point there. I've just used an extra peg. And again, that midpoint there, I suppose, could have gone to the mid pegging point there, but I just used an extra peg. And then this is the rear corner coming around, and I've just tightened up the middle, just ran some cord down just to stop it sagging. And Bess normally decides to go under shelter when it's raining, which it is doing at the moment, but for some reason has decided that she's just going to tough it there. So that's the Mountain Laurel Designs Supertarp with Serenity shelter, pegged out in this configuration. As I say, obviously if the wind changes direction, then you're probably going to get a bit damp under there. I've not used these 2 bungee cord tie-outs here, obviously because I've got it pegged up so high they wouldn't really have been used, but I did bring an extra piece of cord, which you can see there, in case I needed them. And how I tied on how I tied on these was a bow line knot on that one and that one down to I think they're called taut line hitches, where you just slide them along to tighten them up. But I think that's quite well pitched actually. Obviously, again, any comments, thoughts, observations, questions, I'm sure someone else can answer them for you. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.